What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the FallenRedZeo. I'm back with another random collection of Star Wars Black Series figures. So this is just a group of figures we've had sitting around, didn't know what to throw it in with or anything, so we're just going to kind of throw them all together here since they don't really belong to any wave or anything. So up first you can see we have the new Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, so it looks pretty awesome with the new colors representing him from Return of the Jedi. We get a bunch of accessories that come with this pack, so it's a Deluxe Boba Fett and it looks awesome. This is like the ultimate Boba Fett in my opinion, so I'm excited that we got this figure because I'm excited to check it out and everything. And of course we have the new packaging design, so there we've got Boba Fett over on the side. That of course can line up with all the other Return of the Jedi figures, but he just looks awesome and I'm excited to look at him. And then from the Phantom Menace we have the Deluxe Jar Jar. So we have Jar Jar Binks with some Gungan accessories to go with him, kind of representing that final battle in Phantom Menace. And then switching over to the Mandalorian, we have the Remnant Trooper. So I believe this was a Target exclusive. So it looks pretty much just like your standard Stormtrooper. It's just all dirty and banged up and everything since this is after the Empire has fallen. So some of the remaining troopers are still around us, so they look dirty being in the Mandalorian. And finally, also from the Mandalorian, we have the speeder bike that comes with Baby Yoda. So when the scout troopers end up getting their hands on Baby Yoda, putting him in the bag, of course with the mean trooper that bonked Baby Yoda on the head. But that's another speeder bike. It looks awesome. It's in white this time, where the past ones we've had are brown, so that's awesome. And then a scout trooper we've had multiple times before. He just looks like he's a little dirty as well. And then the little Baby Yoda in the bag, which is awesome. So again, it's just a random collection of figures here that we're all going to just throw together into its own little way. So again, I'm excited for each of these figures. I think each of them look cool, so I'm excited to check them out. So let me get them open and we'll do that together. So here we got Boba Fett, and he looks pretty great because like I said, I love the look of this figure just because it reminds me so much of the classic Boba Fett. Like this is the colors and everything I remembered, so it's like the perfect Boba Fett. Just looks so great. And so as you can see, he does have a lot of scrapes and scratches and stuff all over his Mandalorian arm. You can see it up there on his shoulder, all over his helmet, so you can see the classic dent right in the top of his helmet, all the scrapes and scratches stuff, so you can tell he's been in a lot of war. But he's in the classic green armor, the gray body glove underneath, gauntlets, some yellow shoulder pads. He's got a belt on with a bunch of pockets, a red sash there around his waist, some braids hanging down that are from his past preys that he's killed and taken as kind of like rewards. Again, the gray bodysuit coming all the way down. He's got the yellow knee pads with the little guns that shoot out missiles, and then the weird boots that have the points on the end of them there. And on the back you can see the green armor continuing, and then he does also have this green cloth hanging down off the back. So it all looked pretty great there. The gauntlets look great. The armor in general just looks great. So everything about this figure to me is just great. But let's see its movements though. So its head can twist all the way around there. He can look down and look up. So it's got pretty good movements, still some looseness in the neck. So he's got the joint up in the head, but then also has one down at the neck as well. So he's got the two joints in there. The shoulders can come up to 90 degrees there, and it has a little bit of a butterfly joint in there. So that's awesome. And it can rotate all the way around. We get the single elbow joint that can bend up there that far to 90 degrees and has the rotation in it. And you got to be careful because these whole cords here in the back so they don't get ripped. The wrist can twist all the way around and flex back and forth. We have an ab crunch right in the middle there, so you can rock back and forth as you can see there, and he can twist all the way around. The hips can come up to 90 degrees there and out to the side that far. He's got pretty good movements there. He has thigh twist that can twist all the way around. Got the single knee joint that can bend up to 90 degrees there and it has the rotation. And then the foot can flex back and forth and can twist side to side. So again, in my opinion, I just think he looks great. But of course, this is the Deluxe Boba Fett, so he does come with a lot of accessories. So first up, we have his jetpack. So we have a Z6 jetpack. Again, probably was his father's originally. Has the blue color on it, some yellow details in there as well, and then some silver and red. And you can see all the scrapes and scratches. Has the missile sticking out of the top and the exhaust ports there on the back, and it has little pegs that go into his back as well, so we can just pop it right in. So it just sticks on the back like that and sticks up there in the back. And of course, like we saw in the Mandalorian, he can bend down and then shoot the rocket off there too. So that's pretty awesome. So we got the jetpack there, so he can now fly around. Speaking of jetpack, we also get these two flame effects that we can take and stick into the exhaust ports down here. So we just take these pieces and pop them right in the bottom, just like that. So we have the flames sticking out of the bottom there, so he can actually be flying around. So like when he's flying from Jabba's sail barge onto the skiff and stuff, he just shoots across like that. So those are pretty cool effects. I don't really like them too much. I don't think they look, that great. But if you had them up in a flying pose and something, they'd probably look a lot better since they'd actually be having that flame effect. And speaking of flame effects, we also get a flame effect for his gauntlet. So we have the gauntlet piece over here where we can choose flame effect out. So he's got it right there. And it's designed a little bit weird there, but you can take and just slide it right on to his gauntlet there. And then he's got the flame sticking out. So we have the flame shooting out of his gauntlet there, and that looks pretty cool there. Of course, we'll have to get it situated and stuff to make it look even better, but it's awesome that he's got the flame effect. So it's awesome to have that shooting out there. And also for his gauntlets, we get the whip cord here. So we have this little whip cord. It's got the little connection there, so you can shoot it out and, use it to like go across. But in the movie, we see him wrap it around Luke, and then Luke ends up cutting it with his lightsaber. So it has this weird little hook piece on the end of it that just goes onto his wrist. So it just hooks on his wrist, and then it is just a string, unfortunately, so it doesn't like stick out or anything. So you'd have to get something to like help hold it up to be like he's actually shooting it out and everything. But it is fun that it does come with this accessory, the whole whip cord and everything, but it's not much use for like displaying. And I don't like the design of the piece around his hand. I just don't think it looks very good with this big chunky piece on there now, but it's just another accessory to add on to him. But we do get his E3 carbine rifle, so the rifle that's most known for Boba Fett. So it's this awesome design, so it looks like a little blaster, has the arm attachment on the back there, and just looks pretty awesome. So we have this that we can stick into his hand, so you can put his gun in his hand a bit like that, so that looks pretty awesome there. And he even comes with an additional one, so we can have it where Luke chops his gun in half, so it has the gun here and you can see the split right there, and you can just break it apart there. So like I said, like Luke chops it in half with his lightsabers there, we got the two pieces split apart, and I like how it's got that glowing yellow, so that's pretty awesome. But you can also stick it back together there just like that. So again, it's just another accessory to go along here with our Boba Fett, which again I really enjoy, and I think he looks pretty awesome there. So this is definitely my favorite Boba Fett Black Series figure. And next up, we have everyone's favorite Gungan of Jar Jar Binks, which I actually really like Jar Jar. I'm a fan of the Phantom Menace just because I was at that perfect age when it came out back in '99. So it's always been one of my favorite Star Wars movies. And I've always enjoyed Jar Jar. He's not my absolute favorite character, but I do enjoy him. So getting him in a figure form is really awesome. And I think this is a great figure. They did an amazing job on this Jar Jar. He just looks great, just the way they got his Gungan form in. Of course, his eyes up on like the little stalks there, the big giant flappy ears hanging there in the back. And then his big lanky body with like his big weird feet with the 3 toes and stuff, and then his fingers as well with the 4 fingers. Now I love the skin printing they got on it there, as you can see all the little details of the red and stuff. Just looks really great. So they did an amazing job on this Jar Jar Binks. But for his movements, he does have 2 separations. So he has the neck that you can kind of see there really clearly, and then he has the neck joint up in there as well. So that separate up there, you can get the head to move back and forth, twist all the way around and everything, and look up and down a little bit there. And then down at the neck as well, you get more movement. So you can get some pretty good movement there in the head overall, and just the twisting around and everything. Of course, it kind of upsets the balance of the pieces there, and you have to kind of get them situated back around and everything, but still really good movements. The shoulders can come up to 90 degrees there and rotate all the way around. We get this single elbow joint there that bends up to 90 degrees, and it has the rotation. We get the wrist that twists around and flex back and forth. He has the ab crunch right in the middle there, so he can crunch back and forth a little bit. Not a lot of rocking back and forth, but he can twist all the way around. His hips can come up to 90 degrees there and out to the side that far. He does have a thigh twist there that can twist all the way around. Got a double knee joint that can bend up that far in the back so he can kick his own butt. And then we got his big foot here that can rock back and forth and can twist side to side. So not a bad figure at all for a big lanky character. Movements are still really good, not too many issues at all. So again, this is such a great figure. You may not like the character, but the figure itself looks great. And this is a Deluxe Jar Jar, so he comes with a bunch of accessories. So we get a bunch of cool like Gungan style weapons. So first up, we have the Addle, I think is what it's called, but it's just pretty much a stick here that's used to throw the boomas. So the boomas are just these electric balls they throw at the battle droids. It hits battle droids and they kind of short out and stuff. But these are just sticks that are used to throw them even farther than like their arms can. So that's just a cool little stick, and you can take and stick it in his hand. So there I got Jar Jar trying to throw the booma there, and that looks pretty awesome. But he also comes with this spear, which I don't really know what this spear is called. Like I saw different names for different spears used by the Gungans, but I remember a spear just like this came with the original toy back in the 90s. But it's pretty awesome, and it's just another stick you can take and pop right into his hand. So you give him two like that, like he's actually trying to spear somebody, or you could take and switch around. Of course, I'd have to move it in his hand, but you could also do it like he's actually throwing it, like he's trying to throw it like a spear and everything. So that's pretty awesome. But I think it's cool just because it did come with that similar weapon with the original figure, so I'm glad they included it here. But I think my favorite accessory it came with is the Gungan shield. So just this awesome looking shield. I love these because it has the little handle piece here in the center, and then it has like the bubble energy stuff, so it's like that purplish blue color there, which looks awesome, still see-through, but it's just the little personalized shield, so you can take and pop this into his hand. So I think that looks pretty awesome. Jar Jar has the shield there protecting himself, and he's got the spear there ready to throw it out at the droid. So that just looks awesome. And again, I love that they made this figure because I think the Jar Jar itself looks great, and him coming with all the different Gungan accessories are great as well. So I'm excited to get more Gungans. I hope they end up making more like Captain Tarpals and everything. I would just love more of them, and it'd be awesome like to share weapons with the different figures and everything. I just think it looks great. So I really enjoy this Jar Jar. And our next figure is the Remnant Stormtrooper, and these look awesome. So again, from the Mandalorian, just looks like your normal Stormtrooper. It's just all dirty and gross and grimy. I think they did a good job. So it's got a lot of like dirt and grime with the brown painted all over, so just kind of sprayed throughout it, where you kind of see like dirt and grime kind of piled up on a figure. And then it's also got like all the scrapes and everything, or like dirt and bigger smudges all over it, so you know they've been in battle or had to kind of deal with some stuff, but not had the ability to like go back and clean up the armor and stuff. They're just kind of surviving out in the Navarro outpost alongside the client and everything, you know, just the last remaining stormtroopers on Navarro there. So it looks pretty awesome. But like I said, it's just your normal stormtrooper, so nothing too amazing going on here. It's just a nice little army building, but it's just your basic stormtrooper, so it's not like anything to go crazy about or anything. anything. But for his movements, his head can twist all the way around there. He can look down and look up, so good movements in the neck. The shoulders do come up about 90 degrees there, and again, we have the separated armor piece, so it's not attached, so you don't have to really worry about it too much. But they also have that butterfly joint in there that allows the arm to move back and forth, and it can rotate all the way around. And again, the arm just feels a little stiff altogether, like everything's like all crimped together and a little tighter with this one, but you could get it to twist all the way around in there, and the armor can twist around with it, or it can at least get moved out of the way. We have the single elbow joint that bends to 90 degrees there and has the rotation, and then we get the wrist that can twist around and flex back and forth. We have an ab crunch right on the armor piece there that allows the rock back and forth and can twist all the way around. The hips that can come up to 90 degrees, especially if you twist that leg out there, so it comes up to 90 degrees there, out to the side that far. We have that thigh twist up in there, and then we get a single knee joint that bends up to 90 degrees there and has the rotation, and then the foot that can flex back and forth and twist side to side. So again, it has that new and better Stormtrooper armor, so allows the better range of movements and everything, so no issues going on there. And then the only thing he comes with is their gun, so just their pretty standard Stormtrooper gun, their blaster, but this one has like an extended little magazine part out, which is pretty awesome, I think. So that's something a little different. Then also has like a little scope or light or something out here to the side as well, so it just makes it look a little bit different from your standard Stormtrooper. So let's go and pop this in his hand. So there we got our Remnant Stormtrooper with his gun in it. It looks pretty awesome there. Again, nothing too crazy, it's just your Stormtrooper that just got dragged through the mud a little bit, but I still think would be a great asset for your Mandalorian shelf. And our final figure is the Scout Trooper with speeder bike. So we'll move the speeder bike aside for now and look at the Scout Trooper. Again, it's the same Scout Trooper we've had multiple times before, just the exact same figure. And again, him, like the Remnant Trooper, does look all dirty and stuff being there on Navarro. So we got a lot of browns and everything painted into the armor. So that just looks pretty awesome again. And they're mostly all white armor, and then the Scout armor, so it's the lighter armor. So they have a little bit more mobility to move around, although with the figure it kind of limits it, especially like the abdomen area and everything. And then have the black body glove underneath there, so it looks pretty awesome. But for his movements, his head can twist all the way around there, and he can look down and look up, so he's got pretty good range of movements in his neck overall. The shoulders can come up to 90 degrees there, and as you see, the armor gets out of the way just a little bit there, but it can rotate around as well. At the elbow, we have a double elbow joint that can bend all the way up onto itself, so it can fold back up there, which is pretty great. Oh, and I also missed the bicep twist up in there as well, and then we get the wrist that can twist around and flex back and forth. And again, with like the ab crunch, we don't really get a lot of movement there. He just rocks back and forth a bit and can twist a little side to side. So again, they're supposed to have lighter armor for more mobility, but this one is actually more limited. The hips can come up to 90 degrees there, out to the side a little bit there. Thigh twist that can twist all the way around. We get double knee joint that can bend up that far in the back, can kick his own butt. Shin twist right in the top of the boot there, and then the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. And for his direct accessory, we also get his little gun there, so a little gun that we can stick into the holster on his leg, or you can put into his hand, but I'll go ahead and just stick in the leg piece here because we will pop him on the speeder bike. So again, another Scout Trooper, so nothing special being looked at here. But the cool thing about this is obviously that he does come with the speeder bike, and again, this speeder bike looks exactly like the ones we've had before. The only difference is this one being white, but it has a lot of the dirt smudges on it as well, so you can see where it's been like flying along, running into dirt and stuff, so it's been splattered across, so like on the sides there, even up on the front little fins, you can see it's been scraped across, so part of like the metal and paint scraping off, and also like dirtiness and stuff, so it's just all the different parts there being shown with all the dirt. So we have the fin there in the front, we have the gun on the little bottom here that can twist around, of course the handles up there, the foot pedals, and the seat with all the controls there, and then a little satchel piece there on the back. And it is on this clear floating piece, so it has the piece that can move around, so you can get it to twist side to side, lean up, lean down, you can do whatever you want. But let me go ahead and pop the Scout Trooper on it. So there we go. I don't really have them on there the best, like it's hard to get their legs and get them to like sit down and stuff, so it's hard to fight with these figures a lot, but I left his arm open there for his other accessories. So for one thing, we give a little target, which I don't know what it is besides just like a little target. So in the show, when you see this, the two Scout Troopers are just kind of shooting at it for like a target practice type thing, so it's just a weird little thing here that they shoot at, so it comes with that as well if you want it. But the coolest thing about this is that it also comes with the bag with a little Baby Yoda's head in it, so again, we have the little bag here that can go around him in the satchel that we do later end up seeing this put on IG-11 and end up being rode in on the speeder bike as well into Navarro. So we have the Baby Yoda's head just in there, and that's all it is just its head, so it's just the little head-on piece. You can't get it to kind of twist around, but with his big ears and stuff, you can't really get it to move too much, so you just kind of do a little rocking. And then you can't even close the bag down if you want to, so it has the little peg pieces there that can close up the bag and stuff, so if you want it sealed, but we can go and just leave it open, so he's kind of like flying along there with him. And again, I left the arm open, so we can just take and slide it up over his arm and over his head as well, and hang down there on the side, so it can be kind of flowing there in the back along with the speeder bike, and that's pretty awesome. And we'll pop his hand on. So we got Baby Yoda riding along there on the speeder bike with the Scout Trooper, and that looks pretty awesome. So like I said, if it wasn't for the Baby Yoda, I feel this thing would just be kind of pointless, because again, it's just another Scout Trooper. But it's also awesome that it does come with a white speeder bike instead of the normal brown ones, so that's another benefit as well to getting this figure. So I wish I had easier access to it, so I'd bring the IG-11 down and pop him on here and put Baby Yoda on as well. But again, he's into the storage box, so I don't really have access to him. But I still think this is an awesome speeder bike with the Scout Trooper and the Baby Yoda in the bag. So that's going to be it for our little wave here of these random Star Wars Black Series figures all thrown together. I still think it's a pretty cool wave. So we've got two of my favorite figures of the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett and the Jar Jar Binks. I think are just two amazing figures. And then the two Mandalorian figures of the Remnant Trooper and the Scout Trooper on speeder bike are two also great figures, but just things we've had before. So nothing too amazing going on there, but still pretty interesting wave, I think, even though they all don't fit perfectly together and not a pre-made wave. But I think throwing these all together do fit pretty well because I think they're all pretty interesting and not bad figures at all. So I can highly recommend any of these. But let me know what you thought of these figures down in the comments if you have them already. But if not, I hope you enjoy my review. If you do, let me know with a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. But thank you all for watching. I hope you stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.